Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Delta High School. I'm Chris Conway. I'm the principal. That's all my slide is supposed to tell you. But I'm going to welcome you here tonight. There's going to be a lot of information you're going to get. A secret. There is no quiz at the end of tonight, so don't worry about trying to write everything down. The other thing is we'll be around after we're done with the presentation to help you fill out those green sheets. I know you want to get them filled out. I know you want to make sure we're getting them done correctly, make sure those kinds of things happen, and we'll be happy to help you. If you look at the slide right there, it says class of 2027. June 5th, 2027, your child will graduate from Delta High School. Let that sink in for a minute. June 5th, 2027. We're going to set up the stage and the chairs in the gym that week. We're going to practice on June the 3rd, which is a Thursday. We're going to practice at 10 o'clock. We're going to go through practice. We're going to serve them lunch afterwards. They're going to go off and go, I'm almost done. And then we're going to have a beautiful day on June the 5th, 2027. It's going to be sunshiny, about 75, 80 degrees. You'll come in, we'll have a wonderful graduation ceremony, and you'll go, I can't believe my child's already graduated. It just seems like it wasn't 2 days ago. I was sitting in the auditorium trying to figure out how to make out their freshman schedule. So a couple of things I say for that. One, time does fly for both parents and kids. So enjoy this time with your child because you don't get it back. I got 4 of them. They're all out of high school. I don't get a chance to get them back. Not as much as I would like. So enjoy this time. 2, you're still the parent. Be the parent. Keep your finger on them. Yes, they're high school kids, and yes, you should give them a little bit more discretion and a little bit more leeway, but they're still a kid. And we're going to hold them to a lot of high standards here because that's what we do, and our kids meet those standards. And that's because it's a partnership between us and you at home. Because ultimately, what we want here is what's best for your child. I know it doesn't seem like that sometimes, and I know it can come across in the wrong way at times, and I've been guilty of that. But we care about your child like they're ours. I once said that in a class meeting, that I'm going to treat you like you're one of my own, and one of my own kids was sitting in the crowd, and everybody turned to him and gasped because they know how I treated him. Now, I treated the class better than I treated him. So we do care about your student. You'll hear a lot tonight. Gather as much as you can. If you've had students with us before, some of the information is going to be the same, but some of it's different because if you've lived in Indiana long enough, just like the weather, the legislature is going to change what schools do and can't do as we go forward. So there have been a lot of changes, especially over the last 3 years since COVID. One thing I will hit on, and then I'm going to get out of the way, is that we were the 12th early college high school in the state of Indiana. As an early college high school, we have a program developed to allow your student to take advantage of college credits in a way that if they're going to a 4-year institution, we can get their 30 hours of general studies credit done before they leave high school. So they would enter college as a sophomore. If your child says, but I'm not going to Ball State or IU, Purdue, name it, I'm going to Ivy Tech or Vincennes, we can help you get one of those 2 years done before you leave here. If you're saying, but I want to go into construction, I want to be a welder, we can help you get certifications in those through what we have here and our cooperation with the MAC. You'll hear us talk about the MAC, the Muncie Area Career Center. Our goal is when your student walks across the stage in our gym on June 5th, 2027, and they shake the superintendent's hand, and they shake my hand, and they shake the board member's hand, that when they get off that stage, they're ahead of every other high school kid and every other high school around here to what they want to do when they leave high school. That we've given them some sort of advantage. Delta High School is a great place. As I said before, all 4 of my students have graduated from here, and I am darn glad they did. With us tonight, up at the door, is Mr. Roger Spalding, one of our guidance counselors. Ms. Lynn Calloway is here. She's another one of our guidance counselors. And then I'm going to introduce Cindy Kunda, who is our guidance director. Thank you all for coming tonight. And again, don't run off. We'll be here to answer questions as we finish. Thank you.
Ms. Mr. Conley talked about the 30 college credits that you can get and have them bundled up for essentially your first year of college completed by the time you leave Delta High School. This has a fancy name that Indiana has given it. It's called the Indiana College Core. And 8th grade students, I don't want you to worry about that necessarily tonight, because these are courses that you won't start taking until your junior year. So you would take these specific courses your junior and senior year, and they would be in the areas of English, math, science, social studies, and world language. There is a paper that we will have out for you on the table if you are interested in getting more information specifically about the Indiana College Core, just so you can read up on it and know about it for future year planning as well. Tonight's agenda specifically, we are going to be covering the Indiana diploma options and their requirements. That is on the white paper that you have. Feel free to take any notes on that paper. That one's going to be yours to take home. The major thing that we're here tonight for is for students, for you to be able to select the courses that you would like to take your freshman year. And that will be on the green paper. You will turn the green paper into us tonight. We will have 2 bins at the back table. Last name A through J. You have Mrs. Calloway as your counselor, so there's a bin for you. Last name K through Z. There's a bin for you, and you have Mr. Spalding as your school counselor. It is really exciting to see this almost full house tonight. I'm glad that you were able to come. I know last week's sort of snow messed up a lot of sports things, but I'm glad that you have made special effort to be here tonight. Parents, I can't emphasize really how important your role is tonight to be here, and I really appreciate that and that communication that you and students you're going to have with your parents to help give a good balance to your incoming freshman schedule. So Mrs. Calloway is going to come and she will take you through the next step here.
First of all, I want to welcome all of you to Delta High School. And as she said, it is exciting because we have an almost full auditorium this evening, so it's exciting to know that you guys are all out there. Secondly, I want to preface what I'm going to say by saying that don't panic if this is your first high schooler. We've all been through it before and know how overwhelming that can be to both parent and student. And we are going to give you a lot of information tonight, but Mr. Spalding and all of us here actually are happy to answer phone calls or emails if you have questions, because like I said, it is a lot. So if you want to take out that white paper, this is just what it looks like. And it talks a little bit about the graduation pathways and the things you have to do now to graduate in the state of Indiana. As Mr. Conley said, there have been some changes. Right now we have 2 different sets of diplomas in the high school. So if you have a junior and senior, their requirements to graduate are a little bit different than your incoming freshman. The first thing they have to have, that number 3 there, or number 1, sorry, on that paper talks about credits. That's the same thing all of us went through. You have to have 46 credits for a Core 40 diploma or 47 credits for an academic honors or technical honors diploma. That's pretty simple. It has to be the right credits and the right number. The second thing there is an employability skills bucket is what we call them. And those employability skills, there are different ways to earn those, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But students, the easiest way to check off this bucket is to earn at least a C average in both first and second semester English 9, and that bucket is gone. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So you want to shoot for at least a C average in that English 9 class. And then the third thing is probably the most confusing, and something you might start working on this first year, hopefully. There are different ways to earn that also. That's all of the yellow writing on the right-hand side of that page. So you can meet that by getting an average or a little bit above average SAT score. You can score 31 or above on the ASVAB, which is the military test. It doesn't mean that your child has to go into the military. It's just a measure to say that they've met this level of academic standards. And there's a whole list of different things there. But the easiest one of those is the part that's circled and in the blue. And that's to complete that next level program of studies. So what happens basically is, as you guys will look at your grade sheet later, you start with, most of them are called principles of something. So like there's a principles of agriculture, a principles of early childhood education, principles of culinary and hospitality. Any of those start a pathway, and that's what this is, that consists of 3 years worth of courses. And if you complete those courses, then you can check off that box. So you don't have to worry about what score you get on the SAT or what score you get on the ASVAB or any of those things. You just take those classes, complete them, and then that box is checked off. So one of the number 2 there was the project-based experience. That's what you get, is that project-based experience if you're getting that C average in your English 9 class. The other way we can do that, which we can talk to you about individually as we get there, but to shoot for that grade, we can do things with community service. We can do things if you have a job, involvement with school activities, whether that be sports or marching band or a club. Any of those kind of things will help cross off that bucket too. Bucket 3 is the one that I spent the time there talking about. You can see there are multiple ways to earn that again, and that yellow print explains them. But the easiest one of those is to start that next level program of studies and to be enrolled in those classes, so you don't have to worry about how things go. You can just complete the class and do that. So, then now that you know how to get a diploma, there are 3 different types basically that you start out with as a freshman. You can earn a Core 40 diploma, which is the diploma that will allow the student to go straight into most 4-year schools in the state of Indiana. Some of them do require foreign language, which is not required for a Core 40, but if you know you want to go to Purdue or IU, you're probably eventually going to want to get 2 years of foreign language just because of their individual school requirements. The academic honors is just a little above that as far as rigor, maybe a little bit more work. It requires an extra year. Oh, awful. What did I do? Sorry. Here we go. I think I got that. Academic honors requires an extra year of math, and then the 3 years of foreign language, which we have Spanish here at Delta, so you have Spanish 1, 2, and 3. And it does require 2 fine arts credits, which some students cringe because they're like me and can't draw a stick person, but there are some other things that they can use to fulfill that. Those fine arts credits can be things like through our art classes, band, choir, or any of our media arts, which would be yearbook, Eagles Own News, and newspaper. The back of that paper that you have, what we tell the students as we go into classes and meet with the individual students in their English classes, we've been meeting with them the last 2 weeks, the ones that are already here in the building. This is kind of your check sheet. If you decide that you want to get the Core 40 diploma, you use only the left side of this piece of paper. Those are the requirements you need. You can see there that it takes 8 language arts credits. One of those has to be speech. You need 6 math credits, which would be our normal sequences, Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. You also need 6 math credits. Those start with biology. All of you as freshmen should try and take biology, and then you have a choice for the second one between chemistry and integrated chemistry physics, and then you take another Core 40 science class for those. Social studies, most of you will start next school year with either a world history or geography of the world course, and then you don't have to take one as a sophomore. That gives you a little room for an elective area. And then as a junior, everybody takes U.S. history, and as a senior, you take government and econ. PE, you take PE 1 as a freshman, PE 2 as a sophomore, and then those are your only required PE credits. If you would like PE, you can take elective PE weightlifting, or we have elective PE games. And then you also have 1 semester of health that you will take as a freshman. Those elective areas, the directed electives and the regular electives, those are all your other things. So if you take more art classes, or the ag classes, or the consumer and family science classes, those all count as your electives. And then, like I said, if you go with the Core 40 or the technical honors, you add the top part for academic honors and the bottom part for technical honors. You can actually complete both if you choose to do so. We just have to be careful about the classes we pick so we can keep you on track. So, and again, the academic honors requires that extra year math and foreign language. Technical honors requires some certifications and things like that. Overall, you can see here, this kind of lays it out instead of all together. It just puts it in a simple chart so you can see again what's required in each area. The Core 40 diploma is the minimum diploma requirement for the 21st Century Scholars. So if some of you got registered and you're in the 21st Century Scholars program, this is what you will need for that. You do not have to have a world language for Core 40, but we do recommend it if you think you want to go on to a four-year school. And it does, again, require 46 credits. The academic honors, like I said, the same thing, only it's in a nice, neat little chart so you can see that a little easier. With the math, remember, it does require those extra 2 credits. So you do have a math class your senior year, and then the world languages. These are the requirements too, and I won't read those to you individually. They're on that sheet so you can see them and kind of check that off. But remember, you have to have a C or better for academic honors, the classes that count towards that GPA, and a cumulative, which is your overall GPA at the end, has to be an 8.0, which is a B. And then you check off one of the following there on the bottom part of that, and it does require 47 credits. Technical honors diploma, you'll see there the big difference is that CTE pathway that has dual credit attached to it. And when we go through and you'll see the course description book here in a little bit, you can tell which of those classes have those CTE pathways that have the dual credit the way it's listed. And Mr. Spalding will explain all that to you. The other thing, again, this requires a C or better in each class that counts towards the diploma, and your cumulative GPA has to be an 8.0. So, and then you have to earn either that industry-based certification or 6 dual credits from those dual credit courses. And again, there's the whole list of things to be able to check off the final box. One of those things that allows you to get those dual credits in a CTE area, sorry, we've been talking a lot this week, so it's all running together, are our Project Lead the Way courses. And those are basically a set of engineering courses that give you that CTE area as well as your dual credits to be able to check that off for technical honors. We have 5 classes in the Project Lead the Way area, and those you can see there, the ones that have the designation DESN with 101 or 104 or 105, those have the dual credits attached to them. So if you wanted to take all of the engineering courses we offer, you would have to double up and take 2 of them in the same year. So I think at this time, what you guys really want, I'm looking at the students, and you guys look like you're ready to fill out green sheets. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Spalding and let him talk to you about that.
All right, so good evening. It is time to get to the green sheet. This screen right here is your green sheet. So if you would, every student right now, first name, last name on the green sheet. You would be surprised how many we get first names, don't get last names, and we don't know who it belongs to. So please make sure first name, last name, and then to the far right, you can circle the diploma type that you are seeking to get here at Delta High School. Once that is done, I want you to find the English area, okay? You're going to select one of these. So as you can see, semester 1, semester 2, that's telling you it's a year-long course. So if you choose English 9 or English 9 Honors, that'll be a full year course. If you are interested in English 9 Honors, go ahead and select that tonight. and then we will coordinate with the middle school and talk to teachers and get recommendations that way. Difference is honors will have more material, more rigor, be a little more strenuous. Completely up to you, but only select one of these. Next area we're going to select is math, okay? If you are in Algebra 1 right now in our middle school, and you're getting A's and B's, and math comes fairly simple for you, or you're a really hard worker, please don't hesitate to go ahead and take geometry or geometry honors. If you're Algebra 1 in the middle school, and it's a struggle, let's have a conversation tonight, do we retake it in high school? Okay? If you're in pre-algebra in the middle school, your first option is Algebra 1. Okay, so the sequence here at the high school is always Algebra 1 first, then geometry, then Algebra 2, and so on and so on. Okay, if you take Algebra 1 in the 8th grade, you are telling us you have to get through pre-calc in high school. Okay, that's just state requirements, because it says even for the 440, you have to have 3 full years while in grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay? So if you're in algebra now and it's a struggle, please have a conversation with us tonight. Everyone takes biology, so 2 X's here. Social studies. You only have to take one of these within your first 2 years in high school. We do have a lot of incoming freshmen will select one of these their freshman year. But if your schedule fills up with other things, you certainly can take one of these classes your sophomore year. Okay? So, one of these classes completed by the end of your sophomore year. So if you're wanting to go ahead and do that, as an incoming freshman, you can go ahead and select that now. PE and health, okay? The way it's on your green sheet, it kind of looks like we only offer PE during first semester and we only offer health during second semester. That's not what we're trying to tell you. All we're trying to tell you is that is a semester-only course. Okay, we certainly will have PE 1 in the second semester, and we certainly will have health in the first semester. If you are part of the marching band going forward in our music department, we got some clarification this week. Your marching band participation will take the place of PE 2, okay, not PE 1. So we want all incoming freshmen to take PE 1, and if you happen to be in our marching band, you'll get a credit for PE 2 taking participation in the marching band. Okay, so everyone should select PE 1 in health. Okay, world language, if you know for a fact right now, I want academic honors, I would say go ahead and start it now. You got to get 3 full years. So you're selecting Spanish 1 right here. They don't have Spanish, yeah. So if you're wanting Spanish for academic honors, or you just want to take Spanish, everyone should select Spanish 1. Okay, we do have fine arts courses. Our academic honors diploma track has to have fine arts courses, but all of our students have to have either fine arts or vocational art courses, at least 2 credits, and that can fall in any of these areas. And I will come back when we're all done, but right now Mrs. Kunda is going to take us through the rest of the slides.
If you will reference your white paper again and you'll look at what we call bucket number 3, that's the area that has the yellow dots there. And one of those yellow dots, it says CTE something or another. I can't read it. I don't have enough light up here. But it's the CTE concentrator pathway. And you'll see that it says there that you need to have, for your class of 2027, you need to have a principles course and 2 concentrator courses. So I'm going to review with you right now the different pathways that we have here at Delta High School. So for a school our size, we're really proud of what we're able to offer for you tonight. The first level for you as a freshman will be a principal's class. And then after that, you'll have 2 other full-year courses, and then that completes your 3-year pathway. If you get a C average in those classes, then it can complete this bucket number 3 requirement. So we have pathways in these areas, and dividing them up here in the ag area, you'll see it says Principles of Agriculture. So students, if you're looking at your green paper, you're going to find your principles classes starting in the second column. So if you look at the second column at the top, all of the principles classes will be listed there. So as I go through these, if one of these pathways sounds like, oh yeah, that's kind of what I'm interested in, you know, for the rest of my life, or just an area of interest, you'll know where to find it on the paper. So Principles of Ag is the beginning ag class. You'll notice here it also says after an Agro 100. That means it is a dual credit class with Ivy Tech. So if you take this course for a full year, which it is a full year course, you have the potential to be able to earn 3 college credits. So what that means is you will have credits generated here at Delta High School on your Delta High School transcript, and then you will also have 3 college credits sitting in Ivy Tech with your Ivy Tech transcript. So you can start a college transcript as early as next year with Ivy Tech. That's kind of exciting. All right, the next one in this sequence is Ag Power, Structure, and Technology. And in this course they get in to lots of things, but one of the main things they get into is welding. And then the 3rd year of this course will be Agriculture, Structure, and Fabrication, which will be even more detailed welding as I understand it at this point. Another agriculture pathway starts again with Principles of Ag, and then you can lead into animal science, and then advanced animal science. And you can see that all 3 of those courses are also dual credit with Ivy Tech. They're all full year courses. Another ag pathway, again, starts with principles, and then you can do horticulture science, and then the following year do greenhouse and soilless production. And again, all 3 of those are also dual credit. We have a pathway in business. It starts out with Principles of Business Management, moves into Marketing Fundamentals, and then Accounting Fundamentals. We also have a Computer Science pathway. It starts with, yes, you guessed it, Principles of Computing, and then it moves into Topics of Computer Science, and then Computer Science, which I find an odd title, but it's Computer Science 3 really, so we just slashed it to NLPS, which stands for Next Level Program of Studies. So the 3 of us can keep it all straight, okay? So that's the computer science area. We have 2 pathways in FACS, in Family and Consumer Science. So we have Principles of Principles of Early Childhood Education. That's the initial course for this pathway. And then that leads into Early Childhood Education curriculum. And what you need to know about this pathway, if you don't already know, is that we do have a preschool here at the high school. And so this sequence of courses prepares students to be able to work with our preschool and teach our preschool students during the time that they're here in the building. So the first year, Principles of Early Childhood Education, you're not really in with the preschool students a whole lot, but starting the 2nd year, and then the 3rd year, which is the Early Childhood Education Guidance, you would be doing more hands-on with the little ones. Our second area in FACS is Principles of Culinary and Hospitality. That will then move into nutrition. And then the 3rd class is yet to be determined. We have a couple of ways we can go with this. We're really kind of holding off because we'd like to get a better gauge of the area of interest, most interest that the students that choose this pathway, maybe what they would like to do for that 3rd level. We have, as already has been presented, our Project Lead the Way engineering program. There is a total of those 5 courses in that program for engineering technology. But for this bucket number 3, and for the pathway purposes, you would have to take 3 of them. And the first 2 are the same in each of the pathways here. So the Introduction to Engineering Design, and then Principles of Engineering, and then you could move into Civil Engineering and Architecture. All of those are dual credit. And then the second way you can do this for pathway purposes is the same first 2 years, the Introduction to Engineering Design and the Principles of Engineering, and then you would move into Computer Integrated Manufacturing. So 2 of those are dual credit and SIM is not. So that specifically lets you know, students, if you pick a principles class tonight to help you be able to fulfill bucket number 3 so that you don't have to depend on pre-calculus or SAT score or ASVAB score, it can help you in that way. We have some other electives that are listed there as well, right underneath the principles there on your green paper, still in the second column. We have some other vocational, our CTE, Career Technical Education electives, Principles of Construction, which is also dual credit, and you would take this for a full year, and Advanced Manufacturing. We call it MPro around here. And for this one, you get 3 dual credits each semester. And so you could end up with a total of 6 Ivy Tech credits here with this class. We also have 2 one-semester social studies electives. One is Indiana Studies and one is Ethnic Studies. Now again, these are not required courses, but they are electives in our social studies department. We offer study hall, and students, I don't really know if you have study halls at the middle school or not, but what a study hall is here at the high school is basically just that. You have time to study. You have time to get your homework done. You have time to study for tests. You have time to read. You have time to write or type, whatever it is that you're doing for papers. So that is the purpose of a study hall. And parents and guardians, you're really the best person to be able to help your son or daughter be able to determine if a study hall is good for them their freshman year. And you can take a study hall all year long, or you could take a study hall for just semester 1 or semester 2. And we have it organized that way on your paper, and you would mark 2 X's, semester 1, semester 2, if you want it all year long, okay? And sometimes, depending on activities that students are involved in, that will determine which semester maybe they want to take the study hall in. For students that are on an individualized education plan, we also have basic skills, and this is a course that students may take for credit, you would take it usually for both semesters. If you're currently in a basic skills class, chances are you might want to have one. This would be determined with your teacher of record at the 8th grade, as well as at your annual case review. And then there's also a resource room study hall. Now this is not for credit, but sometimes this is a nice thing for students to be able to have. And again, this would be determined by your, at your annual case conference and driven by your individualized education plan. As you go through this process, and once you get done, and you're counting up, and you make sure that you have 14 X's, because we have 7 periods, right? So once you make sure you've done all that, I need you to just kind of sit back and ask yourself, is this a good balance for me? With all the other activities that I have at home, at the community, at school, is this a doable schedule? Is it too easy? Is it too hard? Those are the things that you need to be asking. I've reviewed and tried to point out in quite a bit of detail, really, the courses that you could take as early as next year with Ivy Tech for dual credit. You do need to know getting that Ivy Tech dual credit is not just automatic. You have to apply for that dual credit. We help you with that process at the beginning of the school year, but you do have to do it. Parents and guardians, the students will need to know their social security number. That's all part of the application process with Ivy Tech. And I'm just going to put a plug in. If you could also, students, make sure you know your address by August 1, that would be wonderful as we go through this particular process. Okay, I know you move, there's always reasons, right? So these are the courses that if you pick them, you need to be prepared for that Ivy Tech dual credit process. The Principles of Ag, Intro to Introduction to Engineering Design, Advanced Manufacturing, and Principles of Construction. All of those are available to you as freshmen. Does that mean you have to take them? No. Does that mean you should take them? No. But if you do take them, you can potentially get dual credit. Tonight, you are going to be submitting your green course selection sheet. You're going to have 14 boxes marked, and because we have 7 periods in the day, and you're going to put them back there in the bin based on your last name. And right now, Mr. Spalding is going to come up, and he's going to share with you some resources that we have.
Okay, almost done. Big breath. Here we head to the finish line, okay? We understand we throw a lot of things at you you've not heard before, and we do it in a short amount of time. Okay, but between what I'm about to show you and the white piece of paper in your hand is everything we've talked about tonight. Okay? So this is the Delta High School website. Okay, I just want to show you a couple places that can kind of help answer some questions that you might have come up once you walk out that door and go home tonight. Okay? I'm going to hover over 4 students. Okay? And the first place I want to show you is the videos about course selections. 2 years ago, we had students do short little videos. And these are videos about all of our departments that have elective credits. Okay? You're not going to see math, science, history, and social study, or math, science, English, and social studies here, but you will see art, you will see band and choir, you will see media, business, just short little videos kind of about what that department is about and the elective courses they offer. Okay? Doesn't take long. If that's something that you want to look at, please certainly do that. And then again, for students, and I'm going to hover over guidance and scholarships, and I'm going to click on course descriptions, okay? This document, when you pull it up, this is what it looks like. It's 34 pages. And this is the document that fully explains every course here at Delta High School, okay? It is set up alphabetically by department. So at the top is our agriculture department, and it will tell you everything you need to know about that course. Is it dual credit? Is it dual credit through Ivy Tech? Is it dual credit through Ball State? Is it a full-year class? Is it a semester-only class? You can receive 2 credits. This class that we're looking at here, it tells you it's a whole-year class. You can receive 2 high school credits, and you can receive 3 Ivy Tech dual credits if you complete all the requirements. The next slide will tell you what grade levels can take these courses, and then the following line is any more additional information you might need to know. So for this particular course, it tells you it is a quantitative reasoning course. That becomes more and more important as juniors and seniors, not as important for you as incoming freshmen. But it'll tell you prereqs, it'll tell you anything at all that we know about that course. It gives you a description of what will take place during that course. Okay, so just wanted to point those 2 things out. Now, before we wrap up, we do want to let you know Mr. Griffiths is here from our engineering and construction department. If you have questions specific, please don't hesitate to ask him. We also have Mrs. Churchill here from our foreign language department. She is outside. Please utilize her if you have any questions for her. If you're completely happy, no questions whatsoever, there are boxes on the table when you walk in by your last name. We'd ask you to put the green copy in that. You take the white copy home. If you have questions, we will certainly be here until all questions are answered. Thank you for coming out.